Wilson was playing with the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and they'd tour for a while. They were getting where they were kind of just not wanting to tour so much, except Soup. And anybody that knows Soup knows that he can't stand. I mean, there's not enough nights of the week for him to play.
Here, Soup was, you know, like, gosh, you know, we're just hanging out, you know, is there anyone you can play with? And I'm sure maybe other people have told you this story, but I said, well, let me get, you know, I know Jim Wunderle, I played with him, and, you know, Whitlock, you know, let me get him over here, we'll go jam. And so we went over to his house, set up, and between the four of us, we played 40 songs that first afternoon.
Just playing song after song, and any song anybody wanted to do. The Stones, the Beatles, the Chuck Berry, the Kinks, you know, Jimmy Reed, anybody. Bo Diddley, anything went. And we found that we all had a shared love of American rock and roll, and also British rock and roll.
That love of rock and roll quickly turned into something they knew they had to share. But first, they needed a name.
They were at Soup's. Soup had a little house, and they were all practicing that night, and they were going to have a gig, and what should we call ourselves? And I think it was Whitlock said, how about Assembly of Dog?
And then we said, nah, well, that, you know, that would mean all the people who would come to the Assembly of Dog would be dog people. Boom, there it was. And then 30 minutes later, after we stopped laughing, we had a name. It's funny. Plus, it's a perfect name for the sound we make, and it's just gnarly and growly and flea-ridden and belching and farting and squeaking and
was tending bar one day, and Jim Wunderle and Soup Grondin came in and said they had a band and they would like to come play. And I had heard of some of the local bands that were wanting to come play, like Fool's Face, The Mistakes, the country bands like Undergrass Boys. I said, well, you know, what's the name of your band? Well, we call ourselves the Dog People. And you just had to be there to see Soup in his hair and Wunderle with his hair, and you're thinking, oh, what am I going to get myself into?
Luckily for Jeff, what he got himself into that first night the Dog People played at Humphrey Clinker's was a crowded bar of people eager to drink and listen to some good old rock and roll.
We gon' get through together.